This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, Muslims around the world celebrate Barakat Salah. President Buhari gives reason for food price increase in his Eid el-Kabir message. Gunmen abducts 8 persons, including a woman, on the Kula Abunima waterway in Rivers State. Courts order INEC to list Soludo Uba as candidates in forthcoming Anambra elections. On the foreign scene, first capital rioter given prison sentence. I am Ifiemi Andrew. President Muhammadu Buhari has given reasons for the increase in the cost of food items. In his Eid el-Kabir message ahead of the Muslim celebration, the president said flood and insecurity caused the increase in rams, cows, and other food prices. President Buhari also said the government is working to address it. Meanwhile, in an increase in prices of livestock across the country, our correspondent who visited some markets in Port Harcourt reports that a goat sells for between 30 to 40,000 naira, while a ram is now selling for between 80 to 250,000 naira. Some livestock sellers spoke to our correspondent.
The people where they buy market will not see our market will never sell them. Let's say by this time the remain wine will remain as more everything costs. We don't know what they have. So the run will sell them last year like 80,000, 90,000. Now they sell them 120, 130,000. So if you now the thing day, but it is hard.
The business is fine. They are trying small. It goes side by side. You can see the one of 30, 35, 40, 34.
Last year, this year, the same. Last year, we sell them 50,000. But this year now, we are selling them 120, 100, 80,000. This year, no market.
The River State Islamic leader and Vice President General State Islamic Affairs, Nasir Owor, says caution should be applied, especially with the Delta variant of the COVID-19 now in the country. In an interview with our correspondent, Owor called on Muslim leaders to continue to sensitize their congregation on the need to observe all COVID-19 protocols.
We are not too happy to learn that the Delta variant of COVID-19 has hit River State. But even before now, we have always been telling our people in the mosque, in gatherings that look, don't say because Nigerians are now dying in their thousands the way they are dying in India, US and all that, therefore it is not there. It is there. It is only when it hits you before you believe it is there. It's just like AIDS. Nobody is hearing about it. But there are still AIDS in the state. We are going to use this opportunity to reach out to more of them, to inform them and tell them that look, what we are having now on our hands is more deadly than the usual COVID-19, So we'll continue the campaign. We are the first religious organization to mount a campaign on this, and we are going to continue, keep up with that.
Eid al-Adha is an Islamic festival to commemorate the willingness of Ibrahim, also known as Abraham, to follow Allah's command to sacrifice his son. Muslims around the world observe this event. The federal government declared today and tomorrow public holidays. Gunmen have abducted 8 persons, including a woman, on the Kula Abunima waterway. Rivers State Chairman of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Jonah Jumbo, who made this known, told our correspondent that 5 out of the 8 persons abducted are members of his union in Kula who were traveling to Port Harcourt for a meeting on Monday. He appealed to the abductors to release the victims unconditionally. He also called on the state government and security agencies to intervene.
The Kola unit and the Abonima unit were asked to come for meetings in the state office here in Port Harcourt this morning. On their way coming from Kola, we got a complaint that the officers who are coming for meeting were kidnapped. All our 5 members were kidnapped, including another 3 passengers. Up till now, nobody hear anything from the kidnappers. So we are still appealing to the general public, the government, to really help us and see how they can reach to those kidnappers.
The Rivers State Police Command is yet to speak on this. The pilot who survived an air crash after he was attacked by terrorists during a raid has returned to base. The Nigeria Air Force said he had finished a raid against kidnappers when he came under intense fire. Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo ejected and used survival instincts to avoid capture and find shelter before rejoining his comrades. The attack happened on the border of the northern Zamfara and Kaduna states. The Air Force says it remains unshaken and unwavering as it continues to carry out its duties. In a separate attack, 13 police officers were killed after terrorists ambushed them while responding to distress calls in communities in Zamfara State. Still ahead, court rejects document presented by UPTH through IPO investigating case involving trafficked set of twin babies who died in police clinic. Stay tuned.
You no longer have to miss any moment of the action. Listen to us from anywhere in the world. Download the Nigeria Info FM app from your app store. Tap the menu bar on the top left corner of your screen, select Port Harcourt, and listen to your number one news, talk and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Two courts in Anambra on Monday ordered INEC to list the names of Professor Chukwuma Soludo as the candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance ABGA and Senator Ugochukwu Uba as the candidates of the People's Democratic Party PDP for the November 6, 2021 governorship election. Professor Soludo's case, the High Court presided over by Justice C.C. Oka, directed INEC to publish the former CBN governor's name, which was removed from the electoral umpires list last Friday and replaced with that of Honorable Chukwuma Michael Imeoji. Justice Oka is passing judgment ordered INEC to remove the name of Honorable Imeoji from its list and ordered them to stop parading himself as the candidate of ABGA for the November election. The court also reaffirmed that Chief Victor Oye is the indisputable national chairman of ABGA and directed that Chief Edozie Njoku and Mr. Jude Okeke should stop parading themselves as chairman. In Senator Uba's case, a high court in Oka presided over by Justice Obiora Onwabunike did not only order INEC to list the lawmaker's name as the rightful candidate, but also awarded 10 million naira damages against the defendants, namely the PDP and Mr. Val Uzigbo, the other candidates of the party produced at the primary supervised by the leadership of the party. A magistrate's court in Port Harcourt rejected documents presented by UPTH through the investigating police officer in the case of alleged trafficking of twin babies said to have died in police clinic. Recall that in the last proceedings, the court ordered the chief medical director of UPTH to furnish it with documents including information on how the twin babies were deposited in the mortuary. But when the court resumed yesterday, the absence of UPTH representatives followed the questioning of the source and authenticity of the documents. Chief Magistrate Rita Ogugo said the court, including all parties and their lawyers, will visit the UPTH mortuary to verify things for itself on July 22. The Chief Magistrate also released the Executive Director of the Motherless Baby Home Coco Foundation, Coco Cusco, and one of her staff, Comfort Ekon, who was remanded in the last adjourned date. The prosecutor had informed the court that UPTH is yet to release documents relating to the set of twins, which conflicted with the documents later presented by the IPO. Correspondent Sebiruware reports that the court also demanded that the initiator of the transaction of the alleged trafficked twin babies, Chidima Maduka, as staff of Imo State Correctional Center, appear on the next adjourned date. Lawyer to Coco Cusco and her staff, Prosper Imbobi, spoke to newsmen after court proceedings.
The court went on upon our applications asking that some other parties should be to appear before the court. The counsel representing the police, not the prosecutor, did inform the court that those documents the court was requesting from my clients are now in their custody. So the court now requested for those documents, and upon citing the documents, the court, though in its ruling did not allow the documents to go in, but ordered that having seen these documents, that my clients should be released on bail.
Lawyer to the second accused person, Austin Ekene, also spoke.
All the parties involved, they have been accosted, apart from one Ms. Chidima Maduka, an officer of the Correctional Center, Imo State. She's been at large. Though in subsequent days, when the order of this court was made for her to appear before the court on the 9th day of July 2021, I was at the state CID and I saw her with the police persons. Her involvement in this matter will unveil many things and all the atrocities that is being committed in respect of child trafficking here in River State and in Nigeria.
As some states are put on red alert following a third wave of the pandemic, spokesperson of Dana Air, Kingsley Ezenwa, says the third wave of the pandemic will not take a toll on the aviation industry. He tells correspondent Martha Okeri that airlines and the federal government have taken several precautions to ensure the safety of air passengers.
From your entry into the airport to boarding the aircraft, you have hand sanitizers, you must wear your face mask. So when you disembark the aircraft and you leave the airport, so I don't think it should affect anybody flying. Even the aircraft is actually safe. The aircrafts are actually fitted with HEPA filters that actually purifies the air within the cabin, and this actually helps you have a healthy breathing on board the aircraft. On board, you're safe, so there's nothing to worry about. I don't think this third wave should affect aviation in any way.
Mr. Ezenwa said the level of recovery in the aviation industry after the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic is commendable.
Airlines are still requesting for bailout support from the government as promised earlier. It's been up and down, actually. I would say at some point we had a lot of passengers, we had the patronage, it was good. So it's been fluctuating. But all in all, I would say it's been good to some extent because we didn't envisage this level of recovery.
On his part, a representative of Asman Air, Ogbonna Chinedu, said airline business has been good 1 year after domestic flights resumed in Nigeria. He also urged government to take all preventive measures necessary to reduce the impact of the third wave of COVID-19 pandemic.
It's a gradual process. Business has been very, very good in West Africa, especially in Nigeria. So it's for the government to ensure that COVID-19 protocols are put in place so that international movement as it concerns air flights are being not disrupted.
Chairman of Domestic Cargo at the Port Harcourt International Airport of Magwa, Eno Ekanem, has advised government not to place restrictions following the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think the best thing government should do is to be proactive. We don't have to wait for the third wave to get here before we start preparing. As you can see on my mask, and every other people should be masked. And the protocol should not be brought down. If government is proactive, if they are putting things together just before the third wave comes in, there may not be need for restriction. Because restriction kills the economy or slow down the economy as we experienced before now.
Local flights resumed in Nigeria around this time last year after it was closed due to the first wave of the pandemic.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
A Florida man has become the first to be sentenced to prison for his part in the U.S. Capitol riots on 6th of January. Paul Hallard Hodgkins pleaded guilty in June to one felony count of entering the Capitol to obstruct Congress. He was jailed for 8 months. Prosecutors had asked for a term of 18 months, saying Hodgkins contributed to the collective threat to democracy. The sentence is expected to set a benchmark for hundreds of upcoming cases from the Capitol riots. The FBI has so far arrested more than 535 people for criminal activity on the day of the siege. On the news this morning, you heard that gunmen have abducted 8 people on Kula Abunima waterway in Rivers State. President Buhari has given reasons for the food price increase in his Eid al-Kabir message. The Nigerian Air Force pilot who survived the crash of Alpha Jet aircraft in Zamfara State has rejoined his colleagues. Courts have ordered INEC to list Soludo Uba as candidates in forthcoming Anambra elections. On the foreign scene, you heard that a Florida man has become the first to be sentenced to prison for his part in the U.S. Capitol riots on 6th of January. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbeviri. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for your time and do have a lovely day ahead. Bye-bye for now.